Greetings, White Knights. 'Tis I, Sir Baroshev here, and today we're going to be playing some Buried, an interactive story. We ended out the last episode, and 36% of players left on his body, blah, 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 blah. You see it on the screen. Read it if you want. I'm not gonna. We're going to begin Chapter 2. We just went down the stairs with Dennis. Didn't run away from the ringing sound. Remember that. This looks like that thing from the Flash show. You know, that gigantic circular tunnel thing? I didn't watch a lot of that. Post spoilers if you want in the comments, I don't care. We're standing on the thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they're running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. There's a small light further ahead, and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Why are we in a subway tunnel? Dennis, what do you think this is? It's probably a subway tunnel. I mean, let's be realistic. It's probably a subway tunnel. Dennis doesn't answer. The reality of what we are seeing is sinking in. Whatever this place is, it's buried way underground. That seems impossible to me, making anything that's on the other side of this tunnel dangerous as far as I'm concerned. But of course we're going to go on. Human curiosity is going to see to that. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound, something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here? Dennis asks. Not at all. This is what I think to myself, of course, but I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. I'm not sure. This is creepy. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll totally be fine, bro. Confidence. You reassured Dennis. We're too far to go back, I say. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we slide by. We're good. You're in pain, and we gotta find the rest of our crew. They could still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured, albeit weak and miserable. From the looks of it, we can go either left or right. The left is slightly lit, the right, not so much. This makes me uneasy, because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this would have us wandering for hours. Suddenly, I jerk my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I ask Dennis, my eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe. Kinda sounded like footsteps. I'd wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left are flickering lights, indicating that we'll at least be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness, but we also heard footsteps in that direction. Let's go left. Let's go right. Screw it. Let's go with the footsteps, because footsteps are... Yeah, it could be someone from our crew. Let's go to the footsteps. You decided to go into the darkness. If there's anyone here they're worth speaking to, right it is. Continue. We're going to the darkness. What you got? As we leave the glow of electric lights, things instantly start to feel a bit more sinister. I look at Dennis's injuries again. The gash along his side is inflamed now, and while the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that is soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can I walk? You are the one that's hurt, Dennis. I ask him, can you keep going? Yes, Dennis says. Let's walk into the deep dark tunnel that has no business being here. He's right. The darkness we find ourselves in feels thick, like walking in syrup. I'm reminded of the fear I felt as a child when I had to go into the basement to fetch tools for my dad. I was sure there were snakes or spiders or monsters of unimaginable horror lurking down there. I feel that same way here, walking through the tunnel. That's when I see a human figure, far back in the tunnel, silhouetted in the faint light at the end. He's standing on some other platform up ahead and likely can't see us. Looks like he might be holding a gun, but it's too dark to be sure. Hey! Who's there? Or stay quiet. Spooky, scary skeletons are way up right next to him. If he's got a gun, it's best not to sneak up on him. He's gonna shoot us. So, hey, who's there? It is. Boom! Sarcasm for the win. My voice echoes through the tunnel, bouncing endlessly off the walls. The figure turns towards us and freezes, like a deer sensing danger. Why the hell did you do that? Dennis whispers to me. We don't know who that is. We don't know who they are. Or where we are. I don't know, I say. Maybe he can answer some questions. But that doesn't happen. The person can't see us in the dark, and after the moment, a figure... I can't talk today, man! After a moment, the figure rushes away through a door up ahead. Continue. Now it looks more like a subway tunnel with that little stoplight there and the little staircase leading to the exit, and the little arrow and the little like, oh, you could go through the door here. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's lights coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they're dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place. Whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we come to the large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We've stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that's buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we've walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident, though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails, and then up the small utility ladder that's bolted onto the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. I have to say, real quick, it's kind of being redundant. Those are the changes I would make. Because it's being like, when he reaches a large open area resembling a subway waiting area, large open area resembling subway waiting area. It feels redundant, right? I'm not crazy, but it's probably just my way of writing. You know what, Dennis says, exasperated? This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. He's not acting like a baby, you jerk! He's hurt! It's okay, take it easy, you can do this. Not get up, pull it together, Dennis. I'm not a jerk. Those people from Spore would beg to differ, but you know. I'm not the one with a gash in my side, I think to myself, so I decide to cut him some slack. Damn, boss. I'm sorry, he says. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. Laughed. You need a minute to rest, I ask, as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I not get back. I can't talk! If I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. I reach down and help him to his feet, then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway, exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize these red emergency lights might be on for someone else who's actually supposed to be here. Like that guy I saw earlier, standing on the platform. Yell out! Or stay quiet. The guy already knows we're here. Stay quiet's the way to go. I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone to the fact that there are strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream, in this empty place is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret. And if it is supposed to be a secret, and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. But then why was that one person still here? This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. Continue. Drink of water. Ooh. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming to In the Woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. See, right there, redundant. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm my own thoughts. So I know I'm giving crap about its redundance, but to be fair, they're selling this game for $3. I can forgive it, okay? It's fine. But for what? Dennis asks, and then he asks a question that's been on my mind since we fell in the hole. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise, and then the unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Continue. This looks like a hospital. I mean, look at that freaking sign over there. It looks like a hospital for sure. Without warning, the facility jolts to light. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. Like this one! Da 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 da! That probably ruined everything. I'm sorry. Somehow the power being back on urges us on. It's then that I notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, this place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long, with 2 main doors. One door opens onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and papers strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeats and lets out a scary-sounding chuckle. Something funny, I ask, as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling and slides down to the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. Well, that's a very encouraging thing to say, as you just leave him there. So into the conference room or into the lab? The conference room probably has notes and, just notes of somebody's speech, which would give me information, but the lab might give me some secret information they can't talk about, so I'm gonna enter the lab, because it's got secrets. Let's see here. Does look like a lab. It's got a key. Walking inside, I see small vials and glass containers held in a clear glass case. Everything is either glass or silver, and I instantly feel like I'm dirtying the place up. I notice several test tubes in glass cases, as well as some sort of tube system that seems to have a clear fluid trapped inside of it. In the back corner, I find a laptop in screensaver mode. Laptop! Let's do the laptop, because the test tubes have a clear fluid. Like I care. Could just be saliva. I'm not actually going to spit, that'd be gross. I hit the enter key and a plain gray background pops up. There are several icons and folders to choose from. I click on a folder labeled Test 1.5, Ethos. A few documents are filled with formulas and names I mostly don't understand. Though there are some things that are easy to understand, things that make my blood go cold. Subject number 6, cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both, ? Ideas for new delivery mode, spherical liquid, ? Induced comatose state first. TerraCore Company, a possible plutonium supplier. That's the spooky, scary skeletons. I'm gonna look at the test tubes, because it's asking me to look at them, there's probably something there. I can't help but check out the test tubes. They're all filled with varying green and light blue fluids. I thought they were clear. One of them looks to have some sort of glowing dirt resting in the bottom of it. Another holds what looks like a grasshopper submerged in liquid, only it's the strangest grasshopper I've ever seen. At first, it looks like it's expanding and contracting like a blowfish. Then it contracts so much that it vanishes completely. As I look closer, it springs back into existence in a completely different test tube, and I'm embarrassed when I actually jump back. I take another look around the lab, trying to piece together what might have been taking place here. I smell some sort of chemical in the air, and it makes me think that someone has used this lab recently. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor. But I don't get very far, because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hands. Oh, crap. He just rushes around the corner and goes, "Hey! What do you do? What are you doing? What do you do?" Whoa, my headphones fell off. That kind of cut the mood for me. Back in the hallway with the guy with the gun who's pointing it at me. Not to mention it's an automatic rifle, so you know he means business. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young, with messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I'd trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It's aimed directly at my head. Dennis jumps up and stands next to me like he's ready to run for it. I recognize him by his height and build. He's the person I could barely see back in that tunnel. Put hands in the air or attack him. What? Why would I attack the guy with an automatic rifle aimed directly at my dang head? Why would I do that? Put my hands up. Wave them like I just don't care. Wave them like I just don't care. I put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrendered state. Maybe it's because this feels like a dream. Maybe it's because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. "Who are you and how did you get here?" the man asks harshly. Before we can answer, he continues speaking. "I don't recognize you. If you're here, you would have had to sneak by the security mics in the entrance hall." "What?" I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. "Who are you?" the man asked. "Did you do this?" The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He's scared. There's something else. We're just loggers, or we're nobody, don't shoot us. If we tell him who we are, it might calm him down a bit. But, on the other hand, we don't have anything to hide, we're just loggers. Why would I say we're nobody, don't shoot us? We're just loggers. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says, bullcrap. But for some reason, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, the man says. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, oh, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The armed man asks, thrusting the gun in my face. How the hell did we get in this situation? I think to myself. If we hadn't fallen into that hole, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if we want to be giving this guy information. We don't really know anything about him. Then again, he might have answers. No, just us. Or we're looking for our crew. Well, technically it is just us here. And he might be scared to know there's more people around. But at the same time, telling him the truth might make him be a little bit more understanding, you know? There are ups and downs to both, so I'm just gonna go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If you always let him go, my mommy told me to pick the very best one, and this one is going to be it. No, just us. Boom! Let's do it. The man looks me up and down, trying to tell if I'm lying. What happened before you came here, he asks. No clue, I say. I open my eyes on the ground and don't remember anything. The last thing I remember was fueling up my power saw, then I was on my ass. We could hear the alarm from where we were. There was a flash of white light, Dennis adds, like a bubble coming up out of the ground. How'd you get in here? The man asks. I point down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. His expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Please, put the gun down, or grab his gun. He calms a bit, but it's still freaking aimed at me. I'm not gonna do that. Please put the gun down. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out, the man says. Jerk. With that, he uses the muzzle of the gun to flip my hard hat onto the floor. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but it's sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because his wounds make him appear to be the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. Step between Dennis and the gun, or stay back. I'm a hero! Boom! Let's step between them! I just step between them and stab in my way between them. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis and dab. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action, and I do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say, but we're here by mistake. Well, you have no business here, the man says. But now that the power's on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? I ask, but he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense and honestly makes me think he might be a little crazy. Who sent you? He asks. You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? No, what the hell are you talking about? Or yeah, I'm the president. Really? This guy just wants me to be sarcastic, and I'm not gonna take that crap! No! What the hell are you talking about? No, I say, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, the man says, but I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. We both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward, as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantees that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then, in a movement so fast that I just about miss it, Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he's moving so fast. Just about 30 seconds ago, I was worried about how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there's a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I have not been shot. I look to the floor and see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed in shock for a moment as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall I could use as a bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. Grab the fire extinguisher and come back, or punch him. Pull out these guns and he'll drop his gun. His gun's got nothing on these. I'm not buff. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but it isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right in front of my face, a reminder of how close I'd come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often. Never really. I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. The man's head snaps back hard and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet, although he's basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him, a desire that builds with each second I look at him. Stand up and step back or keep punching him. Why would I keep punching him? That's just gonna make him be even more unwilling to tell me anything. So I'm gonna stand up and step back, boy! Step back! He's definitely out now. No threat. Or at least that's what I think. But he surprises me by mustering up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. Come on! My eyelid swells to the size of a grape almost immediately. Seems like this last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back and ready myself for another round of blows, but he just slouches into the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over me, and I take it with shaking hands. I can't believe you stepped between me and that gun, Dennis says. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had known no such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes look to the floor. You wouldn't have done the same, would you, Dennis? You better be watching, Dennis, because I'm watching you in this game. What do we do now, boss? Dennis asks. You've come this far, and I want answers. I sense that Dennis does too. I walk over and pick up my hard hat off the floor. After placing it on my head, I turn towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time I won't just hit you, I say, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly, and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid from where he kicked me earlier. I just hope it doesn't get so bad that it affects my sight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far, and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us, its steel sliding doors larger than a normal elevator. Continue. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name? I ask. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be? I ask. No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here, I say. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor, he says, but we can't go down there. What's on level 2? Or we're going down there, okay? Why can't we go down there? Because this guy might have some information. What's on level 2? He looks at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware you're inside of a classified government facility, he says. It makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure our government would want you to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he says. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run, and not even a thank you. Just a bunch of restricted access rooms that I'm only allowed to go in with a friggin' chaperone. Friggin', not the F word. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get in for hitting a government employee. This makes me glad I took it easy on him. Then again, he'd come at us with a rifle. It makes me think that things could have gone terribly wrong in the first place. But it makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. And the explosions in the wood, or whatever hell happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it'd be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. I'm having a hard time talking today, dude. Threaten him, ask for help. He has not been too much trouble. Asking for help would probably be the way to go. He's a jerk, but whatever. Look, I say, it hasn't been the best day. We're just trying to find out what's going on, to find our crew, to survive. I know that this isn't a normal situation down here. It looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad on the door. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel doors slide open with a whisper, revealing the interior. Continue. I like saying continue, it's fun. It's pretty good. Continue is a fun word. There's the inside of the elevator. It's exceptionally well lit, and looks to be made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door, with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here? I ask. We can't leave, Marcus says. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? I shout. Can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. Slowly, we start to move down. The hum and grind of the car's motors fill the space. What can you do? So are we stuck here forever? Someone's probably gonna let us out. So asking what can you do would probably be the best way to do it. Marcus bristles at the question, but I think it's fair. I mean, he's not allowed to unlock the doors or even get medical supplies. Why keep a guy around who can't even grab a band-aid without permission? Without me, nothing would get done here, Marcus answers me. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them barely can turn on their computers without help. The top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground, helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. How big is this place, or what goes on here? 3 sub-level floors. I know how big it is. So what goes on? Is the question. Marcus shakes his head. You may as well shoot me, I can't tell you. Why not? It's beyond classified, and the things I know don't even cover the start of it. What does that mean, I ask, starting to get irritated. It means that even if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is done here, I don't know enough about it. What's your job? I know how big the place is. Don't need to ask that. I handle the IT work and make sure the databases are up and running. It's a 24/7 job. I haven't seen sunlight in almost a year. I wonder what staying in a place like this for that long would do to someone's mind. Let alone their tanned body! I was recruited, he continues, because of the workload. No one else wants this job, but I don't really mind by myself. No one family. I don't really mind being by myself. No family. God, I can't talk! Plus the IT, some crazy crap. Crazy how, I ask. This place generates over 100 terabytes of data per day, he answers, getting the slightest bit excited before his face falls again. What happened here, or what knocked the lights out? He doesn't even know what goes on in this place. He probably knows what knocked the lights. He didn't know what knocked the lights out. He asked if we did it. So let's see what happened here. Seems like some sort of power outage, Marcus says. That's all I know. There was an outage, and then... Then what? Dennis asks weakly. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how, I ask. The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened, and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by... something. I tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on my backup systems. What I saw... What? I ask, feeling a sharp fear worm its way into my guts. Well, what I saw on the screen for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is, it's still down here. Hold on, I say. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place? Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know? Just in case of what? Or so we're still in danger here? He doesn't know what's down there, but, you know, just in case of what? Obviously we're still in danger here. He's scared. We're in danger. As he opens his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. So it didn't matter. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a glassed-in room that's filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I follow out behind him. trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns in emergency vaults in every single room? End of chapter 2. This is getting interesting. It's not what I thought it was, because what I thought it was like a ghosts in the forest kind of story, you know, maybe like a I don't know, Friday the 13th kind of thing, you know? I don't know. I've never seen horror movies. I don't watch those. I don't do much horror stuff. You know what I mean, though. Just horror in the woods, kids go to summer camp kind of stuff. It's not what I thought it was. And it's really cool. It's really cool. So anyway, I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Let me know what you think of the story in the comments and the choices you made as well. Before we go, I'm going to look at the choices and how I stacked up with everyone else. Curiosity. You and 58% of players called out to Marcus when you saw him in the tunnel. Kinda in the majority. Really close to the middle. You and 64% of players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him from Marcus. Mercy. You and 65% of players were easy on Marcus after he surrendered. Bad choice. He kicked us in the freaking eye. But then again, possibly good choice because we could have hit a government official really, really bad. Not going to begin chapter 3 yet. This is fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. I just copied Mark's outro. What?
Thank you all so much for watching.